The odds are overwhelming, anywhere from 90 to 95% based on the gambling market, that Caleb Williams is going to be the number one pick. Now, keep in mind, did he throw at the combine? No. Did he do anything at the combine? To my knowledge, no. He was walking around. Not that I paid that close attention to the scouting combine, but that's the big talk. So let us discuss the question. Caleb Williams, projected to be the number one overall pick, no matter what. How accurate is this? So I've got Boogeyman, Andy Warhol, and theatrical. And we will combine all of these things together, and we're going to give you heartburn is what we're going to give you. Hopefully not. Hopefully you will not have heartburn. But if you're eating spicy foods and really fatty foods at this hour, you'll probably end up, if you're listening live, with heartburn. So this is hitting the bullseye. Now, I am not high on the crying quarterback, as we have named him, Caleb Williams. Just something seems a little off about this guy in terms of big-time stardom in the NFL. He lost me. Now, he can get me back. I'm sure he's not concerned about the overnight guy's opinion, but when I saw him running and crying after losing to Washington at the Coliseum with SC, I said, that's it. There's something off about this guy. I'm good. Something I don't like. But anyways, Caleb Williams will be drafted number one overall in the April NFL draft because it's the safe thing to do. And if there's one thing I've learned from years behind these microphones at Fox Sports Radio, people in positions to make decisions, when in doubt, they will go the safe way. They will go the safe way. They will go with the consensus. They will not go against the tide. They go with the tide 100% of the time. 100% of the time. Caleb Williams he's got a cannon launcher for an arm. He's accurate. He's got all the ability, right? Very athletic, full toolbox. Full toolbox. There's nothing missing in the toolbox for Caleb Williams. And, of course, there's a few things that you can't quantify in terms of measurements, such as leadership and personality, likability, things like that. Seems like a douche. I don't know the guy. Seems like a douche and a poor leader, it would appear. But regardless, reality in the NFL draft is based on perception because nobody knows anything. You are drafted based on the perception of your skills, right? And much of this, the lead up, the last year, we've heard Caleb Williams is the franchise quarterback. He's going to be the greatest thing, blah, 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 blah. But it really is an exercise in posterior protection. Posterior protection, right? If you're the team with the number one pick, you got to prevent anyone from messing with your badunkadunk. All right, so if you punt the pick and Caleb Williams becomes great and you drafted somebody else who's like okay, all right, and just okay, and you ended up passing on Caleb Williams, and you will be haunted by the boogeyman. The poltergeist will haunt you. How dare you? But if you draft Caleb Williams and he goes out there and sucks at a time you cannot suck and plays poorly, right, doesn't get the job done, he's a stumble bum and all that, you can still say, well, at the time we drafted him, he was the right pick. It just didn't work out in the NFL, and that was the player we were supposed to draft. So nobody points their finger and says, ha, if you draft Caleb Williams. All right, now, page 2. We have a need for speed, and another age-old tradition here. An age-old tradition at the Combine is somebody runs really, really fast who you've never heard of, and then everyone goes gaga for that particular person. And it happened again. It happened again over the weekend there. A record-setting 40-yard dash at the NFL Scouting Combine. A receiver from Texas, wide receiver named Xavier Worthy, who was worthy of being the fastest man in Indianapolis at the Combine, the archaic 40-yard dash, which Paul Brown put in because that was a good measurement on whether or not you could cover a punt. So I guess Xavier Worthy is capable of covering a punt in the NFL based on that old measurement. that has taken a life of its own over the years here. So, yet again, Worthy set the record for the Combine, fastest 40-yard dash, faster than Usain Bolt, headlines read. And now we're hearing that Worthy's performance was so eye-opening. How eye-opening was it? I'm glad you asked. It was so eye-opening that he is now projected to be the first-round pick. He'll be not the number one receiver. He didn't jump all the way to the top of the draft in terms of wide receivers, but the word on the street is that he will be picked in the first round. He was not projected to be a first-round pick prior to the scouting combine. Holy overdraft Batman. Well, we'll see about whether it's an overdraft or not, but the comps on this are not good. So Xavier Worthy, the fastest 40-yard dash in NFL combine history. Does this mean that he will be drafted in the first round? I'm going to go yes on this. I'll be Benny Brightside for Xavier Worthy that he will be drafted in the first round. The same concept applies as we talked earlier about Caleb Williams in this Maller monologue, that Worthy, a speed demon. Right? He's an absolute speed demon. How could you pass that up? How? You can't teach the speed. Right? And as Andy Warhol summed up about life in general, it certainly applies to the NFL draft, that life is just a series of images that end up changing as they repeat themselves. Like the names change, the people change, but the basic storyline stays the same. And I'm old enough, I don't know if you're old enough to remember, but I was behind these microphones in 2017. There was a player out of Washington named John Ross. And man, could he fly. John effing Ross. Watch him run. Watch him run. Oh, man. And he was the fastest man on the planet, John Ross from Washington. So much so that he was drafted in the top 10 of the NFL draft by the Cincinnati football team. They drafted him ahead of Patrick Mahomes, who went 10th. Oh, man. John Ross, right now I believe he's selling insurance somewhere. I think. I don't know. But like Ross, Xavier Worthy, undersized, thin frame, making it much more likely that he will be injured regularly than have a dominating, successful career in the NFL. But someone will take him in the first round of the draft, the last 12 picks or so of the draft. You can guarantee it. All right, last word here. So we move now to Dallas. We sidestep our way to Dallas because we are contractually obligated to spend a few minutes talking about the Cowboys and the owner, Jerry Jones, leaving open the possibility, just a little bit, open the possibility that Dak Prescott will not get a contract extension. So there's different reports. There's one report last week, we talked about it on the show, that it's a done deal, that they're going to wait a little bit, but the announcement's going to come down, that Dak Prescott's going to get an extension and he'll get $60 million a year and this, that, and the other thing. Jerry Jones, though, his quote over the weekend was, "We don't need to extend Prescott." That was his quote. "But we can if everybody wants to solve it," Jones said. He talked to the beat reporters there who were running up their expense accounts at the scouting combine. So the Cowboys could do a simple restructure. The salary cap is something you can move around and manipulate. And they could restructure the contract, save themselves some money, not the full Monty, save around $18 million. Or they can just go and play out the contract, and Dak would end up at nearly $55 million. Remember, the salary cap's going up $30 million, so it's like an extra 20-something million based on what last year's numbers are. Without an extension, the Cowboys are in serious stranger danger of losing Dak Prescott. Oh, the drama, the human drama of the Cowboys losing Dak Prescott in the offseason because he has a no-tag clause. I also have a no-tag clause. I'm not allowed to be tagged. No one can tag me here. I cannot be tagged, as well as a no-trade clause Dak Prescott has. So Jerry Jones, on the record at the Combine, says the Cowboys do not need to sign Dak Prescott to an extension. What do you make of this? All right, so I don't believe it. I think Jerry Jones is full of it. Jerry's got other problems involving a certain paternity test that he's going to have to take here, which could affect the family payout conceivably. Lawsuits will be filed, things like that. But hey, listen, they've already been filed. But Jerry on this one, Jerry Jones is simply playing a mind trick. He's doing a Jedi mind trick on this. He wants you to believe, you the gullible rube, he wants you to believe that, hey, I don't have to give Dak Prescott the contract because you think I love all these people. No, I don't. I'm a tough guy. Not a tough guy. Not fake tough guy. He's a fake tough guy when it comes to these contracts. I have not. I mean, when you're a quarterback, star receiver, star running back, you really have to go downhill before Jerry will get ready. Zeke Elliott was heading the wrong direction for how many years before the Cowboys finally kicked him out of Dallas? They should have gotten rid of him 2 or 3 years earlier. Dak Prescott just keeps going out there and riding the vomit comet in big games, and Jerry keeps, hey, we like Dak. He's a perfect Cowboy and all that. And he's historically one of the all-time biggest choke artists in NFL history. It's not my opinion. It's a fact. It's a fact for the time that Prescott's been starting and the lack of success in the postseason, it is historically terrible. All right, so Jerry Jones is like, yeah, I'm a ruffian. I am a ruffian. You're not a ruffian. It's the classic theatrical stylings of Jerry. It's in the Cowboys' best interest to let Dak Prescott play the contract out and then just let him leave and go bring somebody else. But they won't do that. The Cowboys will not do it. I would be stunned if we're not doing a MALLER monologue within the next month about Dak Prescott getting a new contract and Jerry smiling, and I always wanted Dak to be a Cowboy his whole career, blah, 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 blah.